UndergroundVideoNetwork.com presents the We Talk Too Much podcast.
This is where the fun begins.
Comic books, superheroes, sci-fi, gaming, and everything nerdy.
That's it. This is just too weird.
Now, here's your host of the We Talk Too Much podcast, Mike and Richard.
Hey everyone, and welcome to this episode of We Talk Too Much. Who are we? Well, I'm Mike Boroff.
And I'm Richard Catterjohn.
How's everybody doing? Rich, how's it going?
Good. Been a strange week, but we got through it.
You and me both, brother. My story is going to take way too long to tell, but congratulations to you. You got yourself a little jobby job. All right.
Yeah, for now.
Hey, the way the world's going right now, man.
Yeah.
You found something that's in your field close to home too?
Yeah, that's good. I'm going to be doing some social media stuff, so.
That's awesome.
I guess that's what I got trained for the last couple semesters, so.
Besides that, Rich, how's everything been going?
Oh, good. I actually picked up some comic books this week.
Right on.
Yeah, I went down to the Laughing Ogre in Columbus. I ran down to Micro Center. I needed to pick up some computer stuff, and then I ran to the Ogre real quick and actually picked up the Fantastic Four with the Doctor Doom wedding stuff. I haven't read it yet. I've been behind a little bit because with all the other stuff happening, I didn't get a chance to read it because that was Wednesday. And then I picked up the number 12 issue of Ants. And I picked up a graphic novel collection of Legion of Superheroes, like where I quit reading.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I picked up a few this week too. Well, I'll just go ahead and.
Oh, okay.
I finally got to. I missed issue 2 because my dumbass didn't put it on my pull list. Berserker, written and created by Keanu Reeves himself. Really enjoyed it.
I heard good things about that.
Wow. First of all, not a kid's book. This is one of the most bloody, gory, violent-filled, just awesome books I've read in a while. Long story short, just to summarize, he's an immortal being that's been around since for a long time. Like, we're talking like his tribal, in like Scandinavia, and
so it's an autobiography of him, then, right?
It possibly could be. I mean, it looks enough like him. Like, they didn't even pull any punches. I think I remember Richard talking about it and showing a picture of it. Like within the first 2 panels of the book was the sad Keanu meme they put into comic form. That was brilliant. I picked up issue 4 of Superman Red Blue.
Cool.
I absolutely love this series. What's great about Superman Red Blue is it's kind of like an anthology. There's each issue has a few completely different stories. And like with anything, they're not all 100% awesome. But there was one story in particular, no spoilers, in Superman Red and Blue issue 4 that got the heartstrings. It was basically, I had no spoilers, but it was a little bit of a flashback to Clark in Smallville with his dad, and his dad instilling that when you do good for people and they see you do good, they'll do good. And it's like a cross between then and now, where Superman's trying to help out like a really bad bridge car accident, and with no word panels in it, he sees people coming to help while he's busy. And it was very touching and very moving. Another one I picked up this week was Geiger by Image Books. Actually, this is the second printing. Because, again, I'm an idiot. After I read the first book, absolutely loved it. Just naturally assumed my comic book store, Alter Ego Comics in Lima, Ohio, we're going to get it, and it was my own fault. I had plenty of opportunity to get it on my pull list. I was lucky enough, if you're like me, the second printing of the second issue came out. This is a badass story, dude. Post-apocalyptic, radiated guy, Mad Max. Oh, this is really good. The other one I picked up, it's in the other room, but I picked up, I talked about it before, Eve.
Oh, yeah.
Issue 2. Eve was the one that I said that kind of reminded me of, if you're a fan of the Netflix show Kipu and the Age of the Wonder Beast, it reminded me a little bit of a more grown-up version to that.
Oh, okay.
Lone teenage girl raised in isolation finds out that the world she was living with was not real and the world outside is like post-apocalypse.
Oh, wow.
Very good. I am enjoying that book very much. And again, Rich, we talked about it. One thing that's really come from the last few months is I've noticed a shift in my taste. I still have my spandex superhero books. Those aren't going to go away. But so much more is becoming available that's not your typical superhero book.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's evident in the independent realm for sure, you know.
Yes. And I found out that a lot of these books that I'm reading were originally like independent books that had got picked up by creators like Boom and Image. And, you know, it's great to see that, you know, the success stories are there.
Yeah. And speaking of independent stuff, Twilight Star, we got our issue about ready. I know I mentioned last week we met and stuff, and the cover, we just got the cover back from J5. Boy, does it look great. So,
if it came from Jay, I can only imagine how awesome it's going to be.
Yeah, it's really cool, and we got it colored. I don't remember. I think it was. Oh crap! I don't remember who it was called, but Gary posted a picture of it on Twilight Star Studios Facebook page, and I shared it to Underground. So if you get a chance, check that out. And we're hoping to have it ready by Gem City. So,
God, I'm so excited that we have a con to look forward to. And not only that, but I'm already going through like pre-con crunch. It's just like, what am I going to wear? Is everything ready? Whatever it is I wear, they're going to be ready. Would I do this? Do I want to do that? I'm actually half tempted, Richard, on my page and on the Underground page is like, I'm half tempted to do a poll. I almost said poll, you know, because like, I don't know what to wear, you know, but I am so ridiculously excited for Gem City. And I've been following Gem City on Facebook, and I'm seeing a lot of the guests that we have to look forward to.
Right. It's going to be a good show. And I think it's going to be not normal, but it'll be close, you know.
Yeah. And I've already, Richard, about a half a dozen of them, whenever they post somebody new or they do a new post of a guest that's going to be at Gem City, I'm like, oh, I want to talk to that person. I want to talk to that person. And I know Molly Durst is going to be there, and I know we've talked to her before, but I don't care. I'm talking to Molly. I'm coming for you, Molly. And I got camera and mic in hand. Ooh, that sounded dirty. Microphone in hand. Yeah, it is. It's great to have something to look forward to. Even the cosplay stuff. I want to give a shout out real quick to my friends Lynn Archibald and Adam Pettigrew, who's been on our show. Here recently in our Heroes for Hope group, private chat, they've shown pictures that Adam has put together a Bucky Winter Soldier costume. And Lynn pulled the trigger. Lynn pulled the trigger and surprised us all. He got the Falcon Captain America costume.
Cool.
And he looks amazing. And today was the all over the world, but in Lima they had the Juneteenth celebration downtown in Lima, Ohio, at the Civic Center. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend, but plenty of people took pictures. I was so happy for him. Lynn got to go. He was part of the organizers. He got to go, and at one point in the day, he and Adam had donned their costumes.
Oh, wow.
And I could see the expression on Lynn's face. He's the first one that I know that personally know that has pulled the trigger on the has gotten the new Captain. I'm just going to say Captain America costume, and I got to see a few pictures. Man, the kids. Oh man,
Well, that's cool.
So yeah, the events are coming around. Cons are coming back, so it's going to be a little, like you said, Richard. It's going to be a little different. It's not going to be exactly the norm that we're used to, but we can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
It's going to be interesting to see people because it's been a year and almost 5. What is it, about almost a year and not quite a half since everything's
I would roughly say year and a half. Since
Yeah, because I know our last con was actually December when we set up at Jim and Dan's. So
yeah,
and that's coming up too, the new one of that too. So it's coming back too. So,
and hey, what's great about cons and events and stuff like that is they're a place to showcase new costumes. And with all the new shows that we've had the last few weeks, there are plenty of new costumes that people are planning. Let's dive right into it. Well, I want to say start with the bad, but actually this episode was pretty darn good. I'm going to talk about The Flash, Richard.
Oh, wow.
I got to say, I thought this last episode of The Flash was on par. We've talked bad about it the last few weeks, and rightly so. I'm not gonna hide it. I thought they were garbage. This was a damn fine episode.
Yeah, I like the Arrowverse versus version of the Psycho Pirate, or the, the hat and stuff. I think they did a pretty good job on that.
Yes, they did. We got to see the return of one of my favorite characters, Sue Dibney. I like that they still we're not quite ready for Ralph yet, so we're not even gonna try. We're not quite ready yet. I know they're gonna pull a Kate Kane,
right? But
they're still not quite ready yet. But to see Sue Dibney back, that was a treat for me.
Especially when she did the old Tom Cruise thing when she broke in that vault,
Oh, dude, I don't even want to get started on that one right there. That was I got me a smidgen of a crush on Sue Dibney, but in truth, this is the way the Flash is supposed to do comedy. We saw Sue have this grand entrance. She does the, like you said, it reminded me too of Entrapment with Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh yeah,
doing this, and then here comes Cecile. Flop. I really did chuckle, which for the Flash here lately, that might as well have been a guffaw, But I thought everything with Cecile and their take on, with her being in the mental ward, and it was great because it touched on another thing that the CW has been really good about is they touch on real, personal, real life issues. They don't belittle them. They don't make light of them. But at the same time, they're not jamming it down your throat. Was talking about Cecile's history with mental problems.
Yeah.
And I always really liked the character Cecile. I love Cecile and Joe. I really like that they gave Cecile a little bit more backstory.
Yeah, I think that really was it actually fit her character a lot.
Yes, it did. It didn't seem completely, not only did it not seem out of character, like you said, it really, I watched it and I'm like, yeah, this fits for me. I don't have a problem, believing this is her backstory.
Yeah.
But we got, great character development in this episode. I really, it's the first episode in a while of The Flash that I have really enjoyed. And
yeah. Go ahead. No, I was just saying, I like how they incorporated what's his name better as the science geek on the show.
Yes.
But even that made sense,
Yes. I've admitted on the show before, I wasn't the biggest fan of Chester at first. And I think that might have more to do with the writing, because the last few episodes with him, I really have grown to like Chester. And this was a great episode too, because we got to see him be more of the tech guy, but also going through the anxiety of failure and feeling like he doesn't fit with Team Arrow.
Right.
That was great because it wasn't just like smooth transition, you know, and Caitlin put it best, you know, we all screwed up. We've all screwed up. Welcome to Team Flash. So yeah, I really did enjoy this last episode of The Flash.
Hopefully they're going in this direction now. Maybe it was just those episodes because of COVID and trying to get everything back together. Maybe they had to fish out some stuff and we're getting back to where it was, you know. I don't know. Next season might be our last season, so hopefully they are going in a good direction. So
yeah. But you'd mentioned earlier, Richard, the Arrowverse. Man, I got to talk about Batwoman. For those of you, I'm going to elaborate real quick. For those of you listening, I am fanboying out right now. My eyes rolling back ahead. Diggle.
No.
Oh, now I know that he's directed a few episodes here and there from like The Flash, Batwoman, but yeah, he directed a couple episodes, didn't he, Rich?
Yeah, I know he did Superman and Lois.
Superman and Lois. Thank you. I may have misspoke when I said Flash and Batwoman.
He's got some episodes lined up because he's even going to be on like 4 more episodes of something. So,
but we got to see the return of John Diggle, baby. Oh, and the way that they slid him in too. But this episode, we got to see more of. We got to see a lot this episode. The last couple episodes, we get to see the new Kate Kane.
Right.
None of this bandage BS, you know. We get to see the actress that is taking the reins of Kate Kane, which in and of itself was quite a reveal too.
Yeah. Oh, I was very happy to see Willa take over. You know.
Yeah. We got to see more of that. We got to see just how what I really appreciated was just how much Kate Kane and her legacy meant to the current Batwoman, because everything that Batwoman did, like to clear her name and to get her back, she didn't have to do any of that. You know, even Alice called her out. Why are you going to all this trouble for somebody that, you know, you don't even know? And she's like, I owe it to the legacy. You know, that was a great character moment.
Yeah, and give up the flower, the plant. That was
was it. Yeah, that was the big moment. Oh, that was Oh,
at least that's how I looked at it. You know, I hope they took just a little piece off and kept a little piece for themselves.
Oh, yeah, like a butter. Yeah. I'm no horticulturist, but I know that you can take a branch or something, and yeah, hopefully. We got to see the real ramifications in the aftermath of everything that Luke Fox went through and how it's affected him. That was some heavy stuff right there. When he marched right into that cop bar and stared down the guy that shot him.
Yeah.
Ooh, man, that was like every nerd's fantasy. I mean, granted, you know, none of my bullies shot me, you know, but that was like ultimate bully fantasy right there. You know, he stared him down. He whooped his ass in poker. And we got to, again, I got to mention John Diggle. We got to see John Diggle doing what John Diggle does best. And aside from kicking ass, we got to see him play the mentor.
Right.
When him and Ollie were together, he really did. Not only were they partners, they were brothers. He had that big brother mentality to taking care of Ollie. And we got to see him do that with Luke Fox. I couldn't have thought of a better person to do that than Diggle.
Yeah, it wasn't even because he was there to get his brain scanned or something like that. That's why.
That's why he was. That's why he was in Star City
No, Gotham.
or Gotham. Yes, thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Which also a nice little teaser without cramming it down your throat, because you're like, well, wait a minute, what's going on? What's happening, John?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Does this have to do with the Green Lantern ring or something?
I'm almost afraid to ask, because we've made the joke about being post-crisis. Does John Diggle even remember? Like, who's this Green Arrow you speak of? I work for Argus. Crisis.
Yeah, I know. That did kind of throw me for a loop there when he was talking about that.
But no, it was a great little teaser of what we have to expect with the future episodes we're going to be seeing with John Diggle in them. And we got to see Alice. I thought that was a great line where Alice was talking to not Bishop, but her love interest. He's like, if you'd have told me that I was going to be in Crow's headquarters with my dad and I'm not the one handcuffed, I'd have said you were crazy. That was a great little moment right there.
Yeah, and what about her dad turning himself in and stuff, or not turning, but taking her side, in the public eye.
Yeah, when that reporter flat out called him out, is it true that you are the father to the criminal terrorist Alice? And he's just like, yep. He took responsibility for it.
Yeah.
And I liked I wouldn't call it the justification. He's like, look, she is my daughter. And oversimplification, I don't remember the exact dialogue, but some bad stuff happened to her. And, mentally that is,
Yeah, and he wasn't there for her. He even admitted that he wasn't there for her. So,
And I like the way that he made the plead to the people watching the TV. It's like, if you're a father, I just ask that you respect, what I'm going through and what my daughter, who I wasn't there for, are going through now. Which is a great moment, but still at the same time, she did kill a lot of people. I mean, brainwashing or not, that's still a really hard thing for the people of Gotham to remember. She did kind of try to blow up all of downtown Gotham. Yeah, Batwoman was totally solid this week. Really enjoyed it.
And Legends.
Oh my God, I love me some Legends. It was about time we got a good Mick Rory episode. And the return, because I know I had mentioned it, Richard, the last time me and you spoke, the return of Gary. Where was Gary at? Well, evidently Gary was sloshing his way through the sewer system on this little and what? I really like he's a little over the top, but I really like the concept of the bad guy this season. It's your megalomaniacal mad scientist. Oh, I can help humanity by just cloning all of humanity. I like it. It's a great take, and I like that the way it worked out is that he was collecting aliens from all over the universe to gene splice to pick and choose what he wanted, and that's where all the aliens that they're fighting currently came from. It wasn't just like some random, like John said a spell wrong, and
you called it about Mick Rory and the alien in the pod
too. Dude. Honestly, Richard, the first thing I thought when Mick and the alien were in that pod and they started going at it, the first thing, because they even did the tentacle, Richard. Yeah. The first thing I thought of I thought of Galaxy Quest.
Oh, geez.
With Tony Shalhoub, when he's making out with Missy Pyle's character, who's an alien in shapeshift form, and like the tentacles came out, and he just like rode with it. He's just like, yeah, I'm good with this. Blah, 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 blah. I did. That was the first thing I thought of, was like when they showed the tentacle. I'm like, man, they went, which is a good thing, because I've mentioned it before, Richard. One of the things that makes Legends so strong as compared to the other shows that like smack you in the face with their movie reference. Hey, look, this is a gun just like Ghostbusters. Play the music. Hey, this is no. I am telling you, I fully believe that was an homage, a purposefully done homage to Galaxy Quest, and that's how you do it. That's how you do it. But I definitely see that that's what's going to end up happening is Mika's going to be like, hot alien check. We're going to go cruise the galaxy. Deuces, we're out. I think that's how we're going to see him leave once Sarah is rescued. Okay, spoilers. Again, if you're listening and or watching this show, we're not going to baby you. Spoilers.
Yeah.
The big reveal about Sarah. When Sarah walks into that room and she pulled that blanket out, that sheet off to see the original.
Yeah. Well, this all started with, him telling her, where's your scars,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
but she died. Why couldn't they just bring her back? Because, I thought that's what's her thing,
Well, yeah, but I think for the story, considering that it's a clone.
Yeah.
I hate to say the words clone-based story because I have Spider-Man flashbacks.
Yeah.
It makes me cringe, like Sarah's gonna be like, "Don't call me Sarah anymore. I'm Ben Riley." Like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Adam just said hi to us.
Hey, Adam. Adam, if you're watching and or listening, Adam, I saw the pictures from today. You two, I loved it. You guys kicked so much ass today. I saw some videos and I saw the pictures. Well done, my friend. You both did Bucky and Captain America proud. You guys really killed it today. But oh man,
I'm sorry.
Don't sidetrack me, man. No, I love you. I love you, Adam. But no, the big reveal that, Sarah's a clone. We got to see a little bit more story with Spooner, who I'm not sold on her, man. Just because we haven't really seen that much of her, I guess. But we got to see the effects of when they learned that the Amelia Earhart / clone, was also part alien. At the alien part, she could Hulk out,
Right.
It gave her legitimate concern, like, oh shit, could this happen to me? And when she started talking to the alien, like, yeah, very possibly could happen to her.
And you were speaking of homages earlier. What about the ship? The homage to Star Trek.
Oh my God, the clone ship.
Yeah.
Yes. Or not the clone.
The cloaked.
I apologize. The cloak.
Yeah, Ava runs right into it.
Bong. Oh, that was so good. No, you're absolutely right, because they tried that same thing. They tried that same bit on Supergirl, and it was too much of a smack in your. Hey, look, Star Wars, or Star Trek. Hey, look, no. Again, Legends did it right. That was a good moment, and we got to see Gary return.
Yeah, it was a good episode. I think the next one's the season finale already. They must be having a third season. Yeah.
And the other thing we've learned too is from not this last episode, the previous episode, John. Let me ask you, Richard. I still don't understand this. This is my one beef with Legends. John losing his ability to do magic.
Yeah, I know.
I don't buy that, because it's not like a superpower. Like,
well, the spell was supposed to erase the knowledge of magic. Isn't that how I interpret it?
I guess.
So because that other villain guy then lost his, so the consequences was Constantine lost his. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm still really. It was so vague, because they make magic sound like an ability and not a skill. That's my beef right there, Richard. That's what it is.
Yeah.
They make it sound like it's an ability, like to run fast or to fly, you know.
Yeah, because you know, the way I always D&D style was you learn the spells, you know. So
Yeah,
did you forget the spells then?
exactly. I don't know. I have a problem with that. Again, because nothing is perfect. I will bash what I don't like.
Yeah.
I really don't like that because like it was a nice little scene when he's talking to Astra and Suri comes in and you know like he gives her he's like no I'm fine love, and he does that number, but Astra's the one that puts the fire on his fingers.
Right.
Okay, you didn't have the ability to make fire. You had the ability to know magic to make fire. That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Right.
If it was a spell, could you just not reread it? And like, a Flammo Fingero. Hey, I got it back. It bugs me.
Yeah.
But again, taking the good with the bad. The other big one this week. Oh, and speaking of things that I kind of complained about, but justified itself, was this last episode of Superman and Lois. I liked the way they handled this. Now, but previously, before, I was under the impression that the K kryptonite was, by use of the machine, the K kryptonite was what was putting Kryptonians into mind.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
It wasn't. They explained it, and they explained it in a way that not only was still technically kind of canon,
Yeah.
but worked. The Eradicator.
Right. And see, now the kryptonite altered the Smallville's population to be able to accept the implants.
Yes.
Right. Isn't that how, you know?
Yes. Because they had tried it. They had tried the Eradicator on non-irradiated people, and it didn't work. They like melted or their brains fried or whatever. I like that. I will take that one.
So I know spoilers, big spoilers here. The ending. Now, did all of their consciousnesses go back into the Eradicator then?
That I'm not sure about yet. That is a great question.
You know.
Again, I will take the good with the bad, Richard. I have one. I will find one complaint. I hate to say I complain about everything, but the one complaint that I have is at the end of the episode when there was the big explosion and Clark, which again, canon, Clark went full solar flare.
Right.
Which is established in the comic books that he can expel every ounce of solar radiation that powers his body out in one big explosion.
But he kept it contained through his optics, so that was good. Yeah.
Right. He was pretty goddamn far off the ground, man.
Yeah.
All of them were.
They all kind of just floated down. Did you notice that?
How was Smallville not pocketed with just splatter marks from all these people that, you know, like you lose your power, you don't just like, no, you get ripped of your Kryptonian powers. You're done. You're out. You know, again, getting the bad out of the way. But everything up until there, I absolutely loved. I loved the interaction with Jonathan Jordan, their friend, and General Lane.
Oh, yeah.
When they try to take her to go see her father,
right?
The soldiers like, we're not having it, and you know, Grandpa comes over, and he's again. I gotta justify his actions a little bit. You know, it's like, hey, this is we got a Kryptonian in there. Yeah, I know he's your dad, but he's danger, Will Robinson, danger. I understand that point of view, but I did like how Jonathan's been taking the reins when it comes to reining in Grandpa. Jonathan's one's like, come here, Grandpa. Quit being a dick. Be a human being. Let her see your dad. You know, I paraphrase because very well written. I like that they're really upping Jonathan's role in the family.
Right.
What I was really nervous about, because before he was in the first few episodes, we really got the impression that he was just going to be the jock brother.
Yeah.
they fleshed him out so well, especially with that episode with him and oh my God, I can't even. I'm gonna cry.
Oh.
But I like that they're fleshing him out. He's following in his mom's footsteps. Oh, I wonder. We see the boys following in their parents' footsteps, and we know Jordan is following in his dad's footsteps. Think about it, Richard. Even in that episode where Jonathan broke into the death van,
right?
That was the lowest thing to do, man.
Yeah, it was.
That was the lowest thing. That was a complete lowest thing to do. When he told his grandpa off on the porch,
right?
That was the lowest move.
Yep.
And when he took his grandpa to the side and appealed to his basic humanity, that was the lowest move. Wow. You know what, Richard? I just put that together that I really think that we're going to see him shift from the popular jock to being more like his mom. Oh my God, I'm excited for that.
Yeah. And I liked how, the other brother stepped up with Sarah to comfort her,
Oh,
and,
that was so touching.
Like at the diner there, and then of course, once her dad got back to being the dad, that was great that she was right, with the dad and stuff at the end,
Yeah. And I like how Jordan gave her dad credit where credit was due. Was, again, he's apologizing for not being there. But not only did he mention it was a good thing that he was there for her, it was a good thing that he was there for her. I really like how he stepped up and really went to bat for the dad.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to, and then that whole part for the better,
Yeah. The scene in the diner was very nice. And I liked how Jonathan stepped aside and let Jordan have that moment.
Right.
She needs you, not me.
And I think that's all going to play out in the long run, But
yeah.
Who knows? And go back to the small villains, with the Kryptonian stuff. So are they altered in any way? Are they still primed to be Kryptonians, you think?
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't. Well, I'm not 100% sure, Richard.
Or did that device just totally wipe out all the, so that all the ones up here, but there was 2 of them that wasn't near this. Did they get all the shockwave and erased also, or would?
No, I don't think so, because remember at the end of the episode,
right,
when it was, and I like the fact that Morgan Edge wasn't that Morgan Edge is Kryptonian.
Right.
We'll get into that in a second. That he wasn't like a normal human that had been posing, but his assistant.
Yeah.
As far as I could tell from the last episode,
she was still that Kryptonian.
She's still,
planet.
yes.
Yeah. But what I was getting at is going back a little bit, because with Lana Lang having the mother, that's
Laura.
sort of out of the comic book, if you remember.
A little bit, I do remember that.
Remember, she becomes Superwoman.
Yep.
That post 50 or that 52-ish.
The new
storyline,
yeah,
with the Superwomen where both Lois and her had superpowers and stuff, So is there a chance, that they could?
That is a great possibility, Richard. That maybe, like you said, that we don't know yet. That maybe there is still some residual, because we know that the K kryptonite has affected their DNA, because that's what made them susceptible to the Eradicator,
right?
Which was a nice touch too, using the Eradicator, and I liked the design of the Eradicator. That was, that made the fanboy in me very happy, because I've seen many incarnations of the Eradicator that I really liked the way that they portrayed it.
So the DoD is going to take it and then do their own thing probably with it, right?
If the DoD even. Well, wait a minute. I don't even think. Oh no.
Yeah.
No, because I'm just going to say it right here, Richard. I'm fully prepared to live in this universe that Superman and Lois does not belong in the Supergirl universe. And you know what, Richard? I watched a video here recently it was kind of like a lead up before. It was an older video. It was a lead up to Superman and Lois. They even touched on, Richard, that it was in one of the final scenes of Crisis.
Right.
It's a very subtle scene, but Clark is on the phone with Lois, and she made a comment about the boys.
Yeah, I remember
and
that.
Superman was like, the boys, like he questioned it.
Right.
So
So does he still remember all that? Because he's acting like he doesn't even remember the Crisis stuff.
He possibly does, Richard, but I think from a writing point of view, the writers are like, F that noise. No. You guys screwed up. We're not going down that path.
Right. I think they're in their version of 52,
Yeah. But we learned that another little thing that I was a little jakey on. I hope in the future they flesh it out more. But it does go back to continuity and canon a little bit. That the Morgan Edge character is the half brother to Clark Kent. My one beef with that was why. It didn't have to, it could have been any other Kryptonian scientist did the exact same thing. Bob L over here, like, oh crap, man, Jor-El shit's right. Get the kid, send him,
Yeah, I think they wanted it to be tied together just because of the bloodline.
Right. I think so too, Richard, because Superman and Lois focuses so much on family that just being Kryptonian wasn't enough of a drive. It's like, oh, you choose the humans over Kryptonians. Well, yeah, dude, I've been here for 40 years.
Yeah.
They're my family.
And then we got to see, the other version. His brother wasn't accepted and all that stuff. So, what that was really,
I will give it this. That was brilliant because it reminded me a lot, Richard, of Superman Red Sun.
Right.
The what if story, what would have happened to Clark had he not been raised by the Kents?
Yeah, at least it didn't go full Brightburn, so.
Oh man,
I still like that movie though. I don't know why.
You know what, Richard? If we're gonna lay cards on the table, I did too.
Yeah,
I did too. I enjoyed it. It wasn't exactly what I expected. I was hoping for more horror. I'm like, if you're gonna go big.
Yeah, but it was almost what I was expecting in a way because if you did have a Superman that went bad or decided he wanted to rule everybody,
Brightburn was more of a brainwashing because in Brightburn it was a Superman scenario, but it had Jor-El programmed everything for him to dominate.
Yeah.
But we digress.
Yeah, sorry.
but having him be his half brother was a nice little tie. And I liked how he called him out. You weren't the first. I was the first left. Like he'd been there longer.
Right. I just wondered, but how did they get her consciousness into the Eradicator if she was with Jor-El?
Oh, she created no. She created the Eradicator.
Right. But if she did that even though she didn't put Jor-El's conscience in it?
I think so. Because I think, Richard, they alluded to that she created the Eradicator beforehand.
Oh, that's true. So it was just like pre-programmed consciousness. It wasn't really a living conscious. It was like a programmed consciousness, right?
Right. Basically, what the Eradicator was how in all of Superman history, the projection, even Superman the movie, the projections of Jor-El was like a program. It was like a digital copy of the person.
Yeah.
That's what the Eradicator was on a large scale. It was a hundreds of Kryptonians. I don't know the selection process. If it was, voluntary, hey, get your brain scanned, or that I don't know. But she went through the same process. I did like that Clark asked the big question, something that's bothered Superman fans since Superman the movie. If Jor-El went to the trouble of creating a copy of himself for me, why not you? Yeah. And she goes, he did, but what's his nuts over here? Her, I don't want to say ex-husband, but ex-mate tampered with it and erased it.
Right.
I buy it. I liked it. I didn't need more than that. A little convoluted, like, oh, I broke into your firewall and I didn't delete you, but I deleted her. Ha ha ha, But I accepted it. I liked that answer. It was a question, for the last 40 years. Like, well, we've got a computer hologram of Jor-El. Where was Lara? Like, well, bad man deleted that folder file,
Shout out to Frank. He's
watching.
Hey,
Frank, how's it going?
But yeah, I think this week was a solid Arrowverse week.
Oh, honestly, yeah, one of the first real all-around solid weeks we've had in a while. And I can't stop praising Superman and Lois, though. That was...
Yeah, but I got to top off all of that, though. The trailer for Stargirl we got this week.
Oh, yes.
I mean, a trailer was just that exciting. What we got to see in there. Green Lantern's daughter,
Oh. Every single thing about that trailer. Well, I could watch that trailer over and over again. We've seen the aftermath of the destruction of the bad guys. I can't remember what the society. Injustice Society. It left everybody with well, what do we do now? The bad guys are gone, and everybody's kind of went their own way. But Casey's not having that. Like, right. I'm Stargirl. There's more to do,
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun season. I just can't wait till August.
And the fact I had a Doctor Who flashback, Richard, because who appears to be the big baddie this season? Grant. Was it Jonathan Grant? He's one of those British actors, Richard. When you know him, you've seen him in like so many. Damn. But they showed what looks like is going to be the big bad.
You mean Eclipso?
Is that going to be Eclipso? Is he going to be?
I don't know. Is that who you? I'm trying to pull it up.
Forgive us, everybody, for normally we let shit like this slide. Like, I don't know the name, but it ties into Doctor Who, so I'm like,
oh, okay.
I gotta know who it is. Richard E. Grant. That's the dude. I knew Grant.
Okay.
Richard E. Grant. Yep. Oh my! Wait a minute. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have looked this up. I'm looking at Richard E. Grant. Here, I'll show. That guy.
Right.
That guy. He's been in everything from Josie and the Pussycats to Doctor Who. Dude, I'm looking at his filmography right now, Richard. He's listed under Loki.
Oh, yeah.
4. Oh, wait a minute, Richard. 4 episodes of Loki.
We got four left, so yeah, it's the last 4. Yeah, it's 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Oh man.
So let's just start talking about Loki, man.
Jump right into Loki. Wow. Holy dude, the great thing about, oh man, there's so many times in Loki where, have you noticed, it's like, I want to believe him. I want to believe him. I want to believe him. I know I know I know Mobius wants to believe him, but at the same time, like, he's lying.
Yeah.
And I like how Loki was just like, I'm not the type of person to just stab somebody in the back. He's like, I've seen history. You've stabbed somebody literally in the back like 50 times. Well, that's why I don't do it anymore. It's passe, you know.
And then we finally got to see Sophie Martineau as the variant in real life.
Oh, called it, dude. Called it. I had this conversation with Adam. If you're watching, I don't want to say I called it, but because we still don't know. I mean, we saw, a lady Loki, but this is Loki. I mean,
yeah, it might be the female version of him, or who knows? It could be even the I can't even talk. Enchantress. Remember, because she went by that name also, and she could manipulate people and stuff. So who knows? Mike's looking something else up.
No, I went down the rabbit hole.
Okay.
No, again, their Doctor Who is showing, because it was very familiar when when Loki figured out the catastrophe. It was like the catastrophe clause. Where do they go? Right to Pompeii. And I'm like, I so wanted. You even in the background, you couldn't give me a redheaded woman and a tall, skinny guy in a brown coat just walking in the background. And I love how he has no chill. It's like, all right, what we need to do is we need to do something subtle, so we're not, making too much. Runs right over, releases the goes, like, go boy, go, hey, and they redeem themselves, Richard, because remember we made the comments about how when he landed in the desert, they didn't understand what he was saying.
Oh yeah,
like, not everybody speaks. Thank you for having him speak Latin.
Yeah,
yeah. He's like, Patro misero. I was like, oh, thank you for acknowledging not everybody in the MCU speaks English. But that was hilarious.
And it was really cool that they went to that future sequence with the hurricane, because they figured out from the candy bar,
Yep. And I liked how Mobius really showed how he was 10 steps ahead of Loki every time. Because when Loki was doing that research and he was left alone, he went to go ask questions about, like, oh, Tommy, I need yeah, hi there, fellow agent here. Ooh, rough day, right? Like he was playing the charm on her. Tell me, I need information on the beginning of the TSA or the TVA classified. All right, give me the history on the time lizards classified. Well, what can you show me? She brings him right to a folder about him.
Yeah.
You can't tell me Mobius didn't say. Mobius knew what he was going to do. He prearranged it so that she would take him to the file that he should have been looking at to begin with.
Right.
Loved it.
But yeah, I just think this is going in a good direction. We get to see the creation of the multiverse, right?
That's the way it's looking at. Oh yeah, because the revelation that the lady Loki, we got to finally see why she was stealing all of those time resetters or the time
right. Yeah.
That she put them all together and
then send them in different sequences, and
you just saw that timeline go blip, 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 blip. And I liked that they showed the two guys, just average working schlubs who were like working the crisis hotline or whatever. It's like, we've got a code 000. It's like what just happened was the first thing that they prepared for. And the two of them, I am genuinely surprised how much chemistry. I was surprised by it, how much chemistry that Tom Hiddleston and Owen Wilson have together. It's the odd couple I didn't think was going to work. You know what I mean? But they do. They play off of each other so well, and they have such. Do you know what's really weird? I just thought of something, Richard. Loki is the buddy cop comedy we thought Falcon and Winter Soldier was going to be. Seriously, think about it. I mean, I'm not dismissing Falcon and Winter Soldier, but it worked brilliantly as it was. But I was one of those people that thought it was going to be the buddy comedy. You know, we don't like each other, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't, but for good reason. But like that's what we're getting out of Loki was the I'm too old for this stuff. You're the rookie, buddy comedy, cop comedy.
Yeah, I think it works for what it is. And I, like you said, I think Mobius is staying ahead of the game until all this went, until the crack in the timeline,
Right. And, again, huge speculation. But there is so much buzz going on right now because it is well established that in the upcoming Ant-Man movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, God, please change the name. I'm asking you, please, Marvel. I will still give you every dollar I have, but come on, man. But then again, it works kind of in a meta way, too, because of the joke that Scott, made.
Yeah.
Like, you guys just put quantum in front of everything,
Right.
But it's well established that Kang the Conqueror is going to be the main baddie in Quantumania. A lot of people are already speculating that one of the timekeepers, they're doing the side-by-side pictures of the statue, and that it might not be one of the timekeepers, but it's going to have something to do with Loki.
Well, in a way, even in Loki, because the judge is actually in love with Kang in the comics. That character, not necessarily in the MCU, but the character in the comic books. And there's been several different interpretations, and was always infatuated with Kang. So who knows?
I'm going to call something right here, Richard. I thought about this the other day. Again, speculation, and I did it before with WandaVision. I will admit when I'm wrong. But you know what my prediction is going to be, Richard? There are no timekeepers. They are now not the TVA, but the timekeepers themselves are bullshit.
Oh yeah.
That they're the wizard from Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah.
That's going to be my bank right there.
It's actually Nathaniel Richards. Richards' dad.
Hey, that would be a great way to slide in the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and how it's like when they did all the time travel stuff with Kang in Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom, and how all that whacked out time stuff,
Uh-huh.
That'd be a good way to get Fantastic Four out of this, and into Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And Wasp, I should say. Sorry, I left Wasp out.
Because that would be I would even allow this, Richard. Scott and Hope are like cruising, the quantum tunnels or whatever, and literally, and I mean literally, bump into Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four in the Fantastic Car. Like they're fully suited up, but they're just there in like jeans and t-shirts. Like, what do you? Reed Richards is like, look, I'm a brilliant scientist, but I'm lost. I think we took a left turn. We took a left turn at Fox, and we haven't looked back. But no, Loki, man, Loki's another one of those shows that bears repeat watching because you're like, and thank you, Loki, thank you for getting I Need a Hero stuck in my head again. Because I don't remember what it was, Richard. We talked about it, but that song popped up on another show here real recently.
Oh, yeah.
And And
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah.
the, it wasn't Legends, was it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
But it was one of those things where the earworm had gotten stuck in my brain. I'd finally let it slide, but then everybody on Facebook who also got that earworm stuck in their head had to go and talk about it. Like, I can't get that song out of my head now. Now it's back. Now it's playing again. Now I want to watch Shrek 2. Why did you do that to me? But that was an interesting opening for it. You know, it was like having that song come in out of nowhere was just so like Loki style random. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't expecting, an early 80s pop song, even for as well as it fit to just pop up pre-credit sequence. Which, by the way, Rick, have you noticed? Well, it wouldn't have really fit in for Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I've been really surprised, Richard, that they haven't done post-credit scenes for Loki.
Yeah, they didn't.
No. I mean, I've even gone through the foreign credits, because
Right.
like the credits and then for the voiceovers.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the whole thing, and I'm like, this Loki really seems fitting to have post-credit scene, even if it's something like wackadoo, like just showing the Casey guy. I'm gonna get you like just even having him do something random, but like nothing. It's been weird to not have those post credit scenes, especially for Loki.
Yeah. Maybe they're just doing it because they want to be different.
Well, wasn't it true too, Richard? They didn't do post-credit scenes for WandaVision until like
later on, yeah.
But they did it more. It was more in style because they waited until the timeline for pop culture caught up to the post-credit scenes.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
But yeah, I was just a little surprised by that.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think that hopefully this does lead up to the others, like the new Spider-Man movie, the new Doctor Strange movie, and all that stuff. So, instead of WandaVision not really leading, we don't know for sure where it's going. We know it goes to Doctor Strange, but at the same time, hopefully this Loki will do the same thing,
That Loki is more of the bridge between WandaVision and
right.
Doctor Strange. Yeah. Because did you notice they even dropped a subtle little Easter egg hint, because it was I think it was when the judge was referring to like what happens if the timeline branches out too far. She said the word madness.
Yeah.
So there was like wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
And then we got the Nexus points brought back up again. So we know how they operate.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool. So now, was WandaVision a Nexus event?
I don't think so, Richard, because she didn't actually affect time. Everything that happened in WandaVision still happened per her timeline. She just shifted things around to mimic timelines from those different TV shows. So
yeah, but she manipulated the population and stuff.
Right.
And the commercial said she's a Nexus,
Right. She could very well be like a living embodiment of a Nexus point, or a being that can affect the Nexuses.
Right. And then, like in the ending, we got to hear the kids screaming, or not screaming, but calling for her,
Yeah.
So there is something going on. So I think that's where all this is leading to. I think this is just, we're going to get all, but the only thing is, I read this article and I never even think about this, but is the people really ready for the replacement of all these characters? I mean, are we really getting new characters? Because I remember in the comic books when they were replacing everybody, like with the female Thor, Falcon as Cap and all this stuff. Are we going to get fresh stories in the MCU do we need to like jettison the comic book legacy after this point coming up and create stories for these characters better than what the comics did?
Ooh, that's a good point. Especially knowing how they're going to tie into each other. Now, if they were independent movies, even with having the Jane Foster take up the Thor mantle, we had stories, established canon for her.
Right. But for the general population, are they going to understand what's going on, or do we need to go take these stories beyond that to give everybody fresh stories?
Oh, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Because if we tie too close, because that's kind of what they did when they first launched the MCU. I know they pulled stuff from the comics, but it was fresh. It was new. So are we at that point where we have to do this new stuff? Is that why they're introducing the multiverse, so they can do multiple stories, and concentrate on stories and not necessarily just the character development stuff?
I bet so, Richard, because think about it. There was only so much they could do within the MCU without X-Men, without the Fantastic Four.
Right.
Everything that's coming up now with like Madness in the Multiverse, opening up those properties like the Fantastic Four, X-Men, they'll be able to better tie in snippets from established stories and still make them fresh. Like they're able to open books now.
And to me, I think with this all happening, it gives the MCU a chance, if they want to replace, say, characters and then still be like Tony Stark, but be somebody else. It could be in another multiverse.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have to bring in. I mean, I know they're going to do it because they're bringing Ironheart in. You know what I'm saying? And she's going to be, I can't think of her character name, but you know what I'm saying? We're going to see that.
Riri Williams.
Yeah. We're going to see that series. We got the other Ms. Marvel coming in. Characters like this. She-Hulk. It's all going to be. I just see this as a chance that Marvel needs to take and just keep telling great stories for more of a general population. I think they almost need to jettison the comics, Yeah.
And I think what Marvel has in their favor now is they did it very well from Iron Man up until Endgame, playing the long game, taking their time and slowly introducing Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Doctor Strange. With the introduction of Disney Plus, they're going to be able to introduce those characters a lot quicker.
Right.
So we won't have to wait 5 more years. You understand what I'm saying? We won't have to wait another 5 years to get Avengers.
Right. Yeah, because we had to get the first 2 Iron Mans, we had to get Captain America, first Avenger, and then we had to get Thor's and stuff before we got the Avenger. So yeah, but and just like Black Widow, they can even go back in the past and tell past stories too. There has to be more stuff that happened in between. Say they want to do an Iron Man story that took place between 2 and 3 or something, Who knows,
I think that's one of the things they're going to do. Again, this is speculation, but I have followed a lot about Hawkeye.
Right.
Is that it will more than likely take place between Infinity War and Endgame. That we're going to see. It's going to take place in that block, and we're going to see Clint training Kate to take his role as Hawkeye, because he knows what he wants to / needs to do, but he still wants there to be a Hawkeye.
Yeah, so that makes sense. It's just, I just don't want the general population to be over abundance of these and get like tired of it,
Right.
I mean, I know it's cool that they're introducing new characters, but for an average person, are you going to get confused when you see a female Thor? I mean, nothing against it being a female Thor, but I think that needs to be her own character. I think they need to really drive that point. Just like in the comic books, they drove that she was Jane Foster. She wasn't just Thor, a female version of Thor. I just hope they can do that and keep that going, but because it's all in one movie and you only have like 2 hours, is that going to confuse people?
You're definitely talking about the MCU strictly fans and not the comic book fans who already know.
Yeah, because you got a lot of that, and with comic books on the crust of not being around anymore. I mean, are we at this point in fandom where the movies are going to take over, or the digital media is going to take over?
Right. Well, we don't need to put out books anymore because we can still celebrate these characters in live action movies or Disney Plus.
Yeah, or whatever,
Well, I'm really hoping, Richard. We've had this conversation before. I'm really hoping. I know what you're talking about comic books being on the edge, but I'm really hoping that the MCU movies, now granted they've been around for 8-some years and they didn't have quite this effect, but we talked about like the Netflix shows like Invincible, Lock and Key, The Umbrella Academy. Right. These shows really revitalizing the past properties that were comic books.
But that's independent, non-superhero stuff. I'm talking about mainstream Marvel, DC, superheroes. Is there really going to be a superhero comic book based around these characters down the line when they can just invest all their money into,
It is a concern. As a lifetime comic book fan, you never... Hell, Richard, we people like us used to live in fear that what happens if my local comic book store closes? Holy shit, what am I going to do? For 30 plus years, I've been going to one, if not two, comic book stores religiously. But now the shift is, oh my God, what if there's no comics at all?
Yeah. From the big two publishers. Right. What will happen to, say, Image, say, you got your IDWs, IDW is a little different, and Dark Horse was a little different, but Dark Horse doesn't even have that movie property stuff much anymore. They're doing more indie stuff and everything, and, you got, do you have to have that media backing to make comics work, or will comics work on their own? I mean, you just mentioned earlier tonight 2 stories that really has no ties with superheroes. They're just a good story, Right. So is that where all this, because I think what happened is the independent market is blossoming beyond what it could be, and we're just getting great stories from everybody.
Yep. It does seem like that's been a big shift, and the big two are really guilty of it. Again, speaking as a lifetime comic book fan, and the market crests and wanes. I mean, God knows, Richard, me and you both lived through the 90s when it came to comic books. If there was a period in time where the big two probably should have been shut down, it was the 90s,
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at you, Electric Superman and Ben Reilly, because the stories weren't there.
Yeah.
But the problem is we're in that rut again where, I hate to say it, a lot of the stories aren't there, but not only that, but on top of everything going on with publishers, COVID, this is not the time to have bad stories.
Yeah.
And we're getting a lot of bad stories.
So, I don't know. I just threw that out there. Hey, if anybody has their own opinion, just comment on this episode. We really like to hear from what our audience thinks about this. I think we need to do a full interactive episode coming up sometime where we really talk about the future of comic books. I mean, we kind of did this with video games there a long time, back in the day, and we saw how the digital realm changed video games and stuff. And I think we're at the point in history where comic books are changing.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you.
I mean, that's where we came from, and look how much our own shows changed because of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we talk more each week about Arrowverse, Loki, DC Plus, or Disney Plus stuff more than we even talk about comic books anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I mean, I know we're moving with the times too, but it's really kind of scary looking back, because I was talking to Frank Rayner the other night, and that's what we were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
like the history of comics. Do we do stuff and celebrate the old stuff, since we're older, or do we still try to muddle through some of the stuff that's coming out and still try to see if they're going to make good stuff?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just weird.
Hey, but perfect segue into it though. Like you mentioned, if you're watching and or listening to this show, and we would love to hear or read your thoughts on what you think the future of comic books, and if it has a future, is going to be. Rich, I think this is a good point to wrap it up. Rich, where could they comment, write, listen, anything that has to do with our show? Where can they find that at?
You just go to undergroundvideonetwork.com. That's our main website. And there you can find the UVN Plus, what we call the video archive. And it has all 837 plus episodes now. You can go through and see our past, and see where we came from. Came out of the Comic Connection in Lima, Ohio, all the way now to where we stream every other week or almost weekly now, and we do this audio plus video podcast. So, it's evolved, as we just were saying. So you can see where we've all come from. You got Panel Room, you got Geek Street, you got our original UVN Behind the Counters from the classic days, all the way up to the 500th episode, where we took a little break because we shifted back over to the podcast, which is UVN We Talk Too Much. So, that's what we kind of do. So that's what we are, and you can catch everything there and all our social links, and please interact. We like to hear from our fans.
Yep. So, behalf on my good friend Richard Catterjohn and myself, Mike Boroff, we hope everybody's staying safe and healthy, and we really hope to see you at a comic book store /event/con real soon. And if you would kindly, Richard, please press the